first real job was working at a welding company, driving truck.
Driving truck?
That was the summer after 6th grade. And of course at that age I would have paid them to let me drive a truck, but and of course it made me the envy of not only my older brother, because he was making 45 cents an hour his second year at the Ace Hardware store, and I was making $1.25 on my first job, and plus driving truck, and of course every kid in that neighborhood knew very shortly from me that I was driving truck for an occupation, and so everybody was jealous of, the 6th grader that was driving truck.
You didn't have to have a license to drive it?
It was all on private property, so I didn't have to have a license.
Oh, okay.
They showed me how to drive it, and it worked pretty well till right about the end of the summer. It had a boom on the back end, and the rule, of course, was you never park the truck with the boom in gear. And I went to do something with the truck, and whoever had it prior to me left the boom in gear. So the cable went up, and of course when the hook got up to the end of the boom, it pulled the boom right over on top of the cab. And even though the owner of the welding company knew who was to blame, because he knew who had the truck, the insurance company knew that a 6th grader was driving it, and that was the end of my driving truck for a welding company. Next job was, actually that was a pretty good job. It was a two-part job. I worked for a movie theater, and every other night I was an usher. And then on the alternate nights, I would change the marquee. They had a big marquee that would have the name of the movie on it, and then big billboards that showed pictures of the movie, and had a bunch of smaller pictures that would show scenes from the movies and that type of thing. And so my job was to change that on the alternate night. So I only made, I think I made 55 cents an hour as an usher, but then I was paid $1.50 for changing the marquees, because it was a 3-hour job. Well, I got where I could get it done in an hour, so I was getting $1.50 an hour on the alternate nights. So turned out it was a better paying job than it seemed like it was. But I had a lot of different jobs because Grandpa took a month's vacation in August, and a lot of times whatever the job was, they couldn't hold it for a month, or either that or I wouldn't even ask them to. So I delivered furniture for Campbell's store. I delivered flowers for a florist company. You could get a license when you're 15 at that time. And the job with the hardware store delivering furniture was a good one, because they also sold prefabricated houses and garages. And so a lot of times I would come to there after school, and they would have a prefab house or garage already loaded on the truck, and they were always rural sales, and so I would drive 40 miles out of town or something, deliver, and the contract was that they would have an unloading crew to unload it from the truck. And so I'd get there and they'd unload it, and I'd drive back. By the time I'd get back, my hours were already in, and I was time to go home and study or goof off, whatever. So that was a pretty good job. Yeah, I was a stock boy for J.C. Penney's. I guess that's pretty much it. There were a couple others, like I was I don't know what you call it, janitor, stock boy, whatever, for a bearing company for probably not more than a week. And I really worked myself out of a job there because I kept asking the owner, what do you want me to do now? What do you want me to do now? And he finally said, I can't keep you busy. Said all the jobs that the previous guy was doing, took him forever. And he says, you got it done, I don't have any more work for you to do. So I was off, and whatever the next one was, I don't know. And then, of course, after high school, it was 2 years of working in the mines for the summer. Then the summer after that, I worked in Fargo for Nabisco as a warehouse man. We would load the cookies and crackers on the trucks for whatever route, throughout North Dakota that they were running. Unload freight cars that would come in full of cookies and crackers. And that paid about the same as the mine, so that was good. Good money. And then it was off to the real working world, full-time.